So you're probably wondering why I'm setting this channel up, and there's lots of different reasons. First of all, my name's Jennifer. I prefer Jen. I will answer to literally anything though. Jennifer is my Sunday name when I'm in trouble. I used to love going out. I was born with a disability called congenital bilateral telopees, which basically means that it was something that was passed down genetically. Bilateral means both, and telopees is actually the name of the disability that I was born with, which meant that both feet were turned in, and I actually didn't have an ankle bone. A lot of people, I call it clubfoot as well. So even then, even being born that way and having to wear calipers right the way up until I left school, and then having to wear surgical shoes, I still very much enjoyed going out. I enjoyed everything that everybody else does. I enjoyed going to pictures. I enjoyed going to concerts, festivals. I enjoyed very much going clubbing, going out to the pub, getting involved in things like paintballing and laser quest. And then I ended up with an amputation, a 3-foot amputation, called a Symes amputation. And that's when my life basically changed. A couple of years after that, it wasn't working. I ended up with a double below knee amputation, which is basically both legs removed below the knee. And that's when things really changed for me. And that's when I felt for the first time in my life actually disabled. And I found being able to get about became a lot more complicated. And one of the reasons for setting this video up and this channel up is the frustration I have found in trying to find any relevant information when I want to do anything or go anywhere. So I'm a mother. I have 6 fantastically beautiful, intelligent, but sometimes annoying children. I'm married, very happily married, and have been for 18 years. But trying to do anything as a family, or even trying to do anything as a couple, is absolutely impossible due to being disabled. No other reason than that, just purely down to being disabled. You'll be surprised how companies treat you. You'll be surprised how, how it's viewed. You're booking things like hotels and they automatically assume because you're disabled that you don't want a double bed, because the person, well, either you're not got anybody to come with because you're so lonely because nobody will have you because you're disabled, or they assume the person that's coming with you is your carer and not your partner. So that can be quite frustrating, trying to do anything romantic or have any kind of like splash out for a special occasion. Again, you ask them about what the disability accessible rooms are for a hotel, for example, and they'll give you a twin basic, something like the luxury. They don't even entertain disabilities at the luxury end of the market, which is frustrating in so many ways, because there's people out there that I know who are disabled, and sometimes it's just a hidden disability, but they have the disposable income to spend, but they can't, because companies just don't see us as potential customers, which means they're absolutely missing out on a fortune. But it's mainly down to the frustration I have trying to find the information. You can end up just doing something as simple as trying to have a meal out with the kids, or a day out with the kids, can be so frustrating, because I have to spend hours searching for information on websites. And again, websites have an issue with actually putting anything on to do with disability access. It's as if they're like trying not to encourage people to go there. I found that with a lot of companies, actually, you have to trawl through all their pages, look at all the small print before you actually find any information, and then you're not guaranteed that information is going to be of any use. It's the same with videos. I'll book a room and I'll say, oh, somebody's took a video of this room, because you'll put a search in. So for example, we do a lot of Disney holidays, and you'll put a search in for Disney rooms at, I don't know, let's say the Contemporary Resort, and it'll show you people, loads and loads of people have filmed the rooms, but nobody's actually filmed a disabled room to show you what the adaptations are like or what to expect. So the other thing I've ended up with, thanks to being disabled, is there's a high level of anxiety when it comes to trying to go anywhere or do anything or organise anything. So a lot of the time I end up, if I can't find that information and I can't prepare myself to what to expect, then I don't go, and I miss out on a lot. And the kids will also tell you that I miss out a lot, because often they end up going with just their sister, their eldest sister, or they end up going with just their dad. So that's the reasons behind starting this channel. The other thing is to help people to find this information easy. It's not going to be a one-stop shop. I don't know everything there is to know about disability, disability benefits, how disabilities affect everybody else. All I can show you and talk to you about is how the disability affects me and my frustrations, and how I get over these frustrations, and how I go about living as active as I can life with the disabilities I have. Now obviously I've already said I'm a double below knee amputee. That then caused me to end up getting diagnosed with fibromyalgia, which, if you're unfamiliar, fibromyalgia is something that can affect every part of your body. So it includes things like memory issues, confusion, chronic fatigue, which I've also been diagnosed with what used to be called ME or yuppie flu back in the 80s. You can have issues with stomach issues, so I also have IBS. I've got arthritis, osteo and rheumatoid, in my hands, my spine, my hips, and all the other joints. I have Raynaud's and my stumps, which is basically to do with the cold and sensitivity to it. I have, like I said, I've got chronic fatigue. I suffer from sleeping apnea, so I have to use a CPAP machine. And I've also recently, there's lots and lots of other things, and honestly, I could list everything I've got wrong with this. It's literally the length of your arm. But the latest thing I've just been diagnosed with is hypertension. So all these things have to be taken in consideration whenever I go out. And obviously some things are more relevant than others, depending on the activity or the level of social activity or interaction I'm going to have with the world. I also work. Unfortunately, at the moment, I am on the sick due to the hypertension and just being diagnosed with hypertension, which is also can be linked to fibromyalgia as well. And I'm also waiting for results on a kidney scan. So that's all something to deal with way later on. But it's so frustrating not knowing what to expect when you go somewhere, what level of support. So the whole idea, like I said, is to show it from my perspective and how I overcome and what I look for and how I find this information, but also to help people if they're looking for benefits. So I'm also going to be talking about the help and support that's around. So things like mobility, the benefits that you're entitled to, discounts you might be able to get, carers allowance, what is it? Things like that. We're going to look at the challenges that somebody with a disability can face. Now, fair enough, everybody's different, and the same goes with disabilities. Not everybody who has fibromyalgia or who uses a wheelchair experiences the world in the same way. So it's going to be very much from my perspective and the challenges that I face and how I overcome them. And if I can just help one person to find information that they need, if I can just help one person to feel they're supported and they're not alone, if I can make one person even laugh when something goes wrong or I do something stupid, then I would say that this channel and what I'm doing has been worth it. So we're going to be looking at a lot of things. Also going to be looking at how to access the help and support. So, you know, we'll go through some of the equipment that I have to use, okay? So I use, the first thing is, obviously, I use prosthetics. So these are my prosthetics. As you can see, they look different. People, like I said, not every amputee uses the same type of prosthetics. These have had to be lengthened and reinforced because, as you can see, I'm not a small lady these days either. I painted them for a Comic-Con because I was doing a Comic-Con as Harley Quinn. The other thing that I use to help me get around is the wheelchair. So this is the electric wheelchair that I use. As you can see, it's all electric. That's because of my hands. I can't manage a manual wheelchair. All controlled by this. Easy to charge, easy to use. We still don't know what that button actually does. Nothing. It's not a very good, the dog really doesn't like it. You can see the dog's reaction. No, he's not happy with that. So yeah, and that gets moved in when I want to go under the table. It has got it's got a name. It's if you can see the make, and as far as I'm aware, it's lithium batteries, so it can go on an aeroplane. I have took it on an aeroplane once. Usually I'd used a manual wheelchair previously, but I did take it on once on with Jet 2 when I went to Ireland for work. And it worked. It was pretty good. And they were pretty good with it. So we're going to try when we go away next year, take it away with us on to Disney, and we'll see how it copes in Florida, because every year I've went to Disney, it's been with the manual wheelchair. So we'll see how this one copes. So I also have this. I like to call it my gaming chair. Not that I'm much of a gamer, to be honest. This is sort of my occupational therapy. I'll also explain in later videos how to get these kind of equipment and adaptations and how to apply for them. But just so you've got an idea of what I've got to use in my day-to-day life. It's electric, so you can do various things like rise, and it goes down. You can tilt, so it helps you to stand and sit. Legs, so if I take my legs off, you can see the leg rises there, and then the back tilts back as well. It actually does go fully reclined. So this is what helps me sit down and stand up when I want to watch the telly in the sitting room. So I take it all the way up until I'm practically standing, and then I can easily stand up. Now, I use the wheelchair for about 90 to 95% of my time. I can walk very, very short distances though, but it does hurt. I also have this bad boy. This is my table. Now, I know it looks like a hospital table. I actually purchased this myself, but it's been a godsend for me, because if I want to have takeaway in front of the telly, I can't do that very easily. So this table works for that. It's brilliant for working on if I wanted to sit in the sitting room with some music on and do some work in here on the laptop. It's great for that. It gets usurped by the kids when we have a movie night, because all little snacks go on it for them. And again, it's adjustable and nothing can roll off. And I think it's been an absolute godsend. I've had it for about a year now. So that's basically me and my life in a nutshell. It does get a lot more complicated. Obviously, I have to wear a CPAP machine. And for people who don't know what that is, it basically pushes oxygen. You'll have heard a lot about them in the news recently due to COVID. Being used in the hospitals to help people breathe. Basically, I stop breathing so many times a night, and the machine pumps air through a mask that goes over my nose, to push air into us to make sure that I don't, if I just stop breathing, I know nothing serious happens. I have wrist straps that I have to wear for bed every night, in order to help with the pain I get in my hands off the arthritis. I have a wet room, because showering, obviously I can't wear my prosthetics in the shower. I mean, you could be surprised. I will do a whole video on some of the stupid and outrageous questions I've actually been asked because I'm disabled later on. That is a whole entire new video. But no, you cannot go in the shower with these prosthetics on. So I actually have a shower chair that I use. And in order to shower, I actually need the help of somebody else. Either one of the children or my husband has to help me take the legs and the liners off, and then help me put them back on again after my shower, so I can go through and get ready and get dried. And I am awaiting some adapted cutlery, because I have problems now holding things with my hands. So the normal cutlery I have issues with, so I've actually got occupational therapy providing us with some adapted chunkier cutlery. And when I'm able and I want to help out in the kitchen, whether it be cooking or making myself a sandwich or using the microwave, I've also got a perching stool. And for those people who don't know what that is, it's basically a chair, a stool that is kind of slightly angled. So you're not quite sitting on it, you're kind of like leaning on it. It's kind of keeping you upright. Without these adaptations in my life, I wouldn't be able to do anything. If, you know, if I didn't have my prosthetics, there'd be a lot of things that I couldn't do. If I didn't have my wheelchair, I wouldn't be able to leave the house. If I didn't have my shower chair in the wet room, I certainly wouldn't be able to have a shower. If I didn't have my CPAP machine, I'd probably die. You know, if I didn't use the wrist straps, I wouldn't be able to use my hands the next day. I wouldn't be able to do anything with my hands the next day. If I didn't have the chair in the front room, I wouldn't be able to have family time with the kids or go through there to work if I wanted to change the scenery. Basically, all these adaptations have made my life possible. But even with all of this, the world is still a very hostile place for people with disabilities, including hidden disabilities. You face all kinds of challenges, and the whole point of these videos is to open people's eyes to what these challenges are. And like I said, if I can help one person find the information they need, if I can make one person feel like they're not on their own in this world going through these things, if I can help one family member or one carer understand things a bit better from a disabled perspective, or if I can just help anybody see things differently and understand exactly what it's like to be disabled, and make them think twice before they decide to say something nasty or troll somebody who's disabled, or, you know, complain because somebody who's disabled has got a brand new car because it happens to be on mobility, then I would think that this has been a great success. I hope you enjoy the videos that are coming. They're not all going to be as boring as long as this. I will leave the funny outtakes in for any times that I do anything that's live when I'm on the go. Any comments, suggestions, I am open to them. I will take on board any helpful criticism. I'm not very politically correct. I'm me, and what you get is what you see. I just hope you enjoy them. Like and subscribe, and check out, I'm also on Instagram and TikTok now, as well as Facebook and the website, and I'll have all the links below for you to follow those as well. So until the next time, cheers.